What's going on, world? Welcome to my podcast. It's just different with Ty, where I talk about sports, social, political issues, you name it, everything under the sun. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and please leave all comments section below. Also hit the notification bell so you can be updated on all the newest, latest videos because I'm coming with that heat, all right? If you want to come on here and have a debate with me, I may entertain it pending what it is, but you better come correct because I ain't going to play no games, all right? So with that said, let's talk about today. Today is the national holiday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it's a day that most black people, all black people celebrate. But I want to talk about how the perception of how he's seen today by the media, by the government, is not really how they looked at him then, and even by some of his own people. So let's get into that.
Welcome to It's Just Different with your host, Ty.
So today is a national holiday for Dr. King, all right? And it's a national holiday that we celebrate. I just think that there's a lot of things that people may not know. There's a lot of things that people may know about the times in life of Dr. King and other things. First, I want to start off by saying that although I feel he definitely deserves this holiday, it is a mockery for the government to act like as if they were for Dr. King, knowing they weren't, knowing that they played a part in his assassination. It's already out there. It's been out there before it even went to trial in 1998 and 99. A lot of people knew that the government played a part in his assassination. And I'm going to get right into that right now. So 1998 and 99, there was a trial where someone who had played a part in the conspiracy to assassinate Dr. King, he talks about all the different entities that played a role: FBI, CIA, the United States military, Memphis Fire Department, Memphis Police Department, the Tennessee Mafia conspiring with the government, with the military, with the police to assassinate Dr. King. And some people within Dr. King's organization. Now, some people, I think on there, some people allege that even Jesse Jackson had a part to play with it. I think, I'm not sure, allegedly, I think his name was said in there. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And the person who spoke, who had a part in it, I can't forget it. But there's a book by William F. Pepper called An Act of State. It's a must-read book. I have it. I read it twice. I haven't read it in over 10 years. He also wrote a book called, what was it? The Plot That Killed Dr. King. And great books to read, great books to have. So there were people within Dr. King's organization that also played a part in it because they did not like him. I know he's revered, and it makes it seem as if the government loved him and his church congregation, a lot of people loved him, but a lot of them did not like him. They felt he was being too radical, especially when he met up with Malcolm X. I don't know if you know that. I know there's a famous picture of them meeting once, but they had secret meetings when Dr. King was in jail down south, and I believe Dr. King's wife contacted Malcolm X, and they talked, and she asked if Malcolm X would help her husband, and he said yes, and they were talking a lot. A lot of people didn't know that. The FBI knew that because they were the CIA knew that because they were tapping their phones. But they had conversations, and then you started to see a shift in Dr. King's approach. You know, from everyone, the famous "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963, I believe it was. Right? Was it 1963? Yeah. To And you get in 1967 and 68, his whole demeanor his whole speech started to change. It was, you know, I feel like I'm integrating my peoples into a burning house. So he started to wake up and feel that maybe integrating wasn't the probably best thing for Black people in America. That may take away a lot of things that we are trying to achieve and a lot of things that we had in our communities, or just trying to even work with white supremacy is probably a bad idea. He even said, a quote, something about when we feel pain, we make y'all feel pain. Not maybe in the physical sense, but maybe in the sense of economics and different things like that. So he's definitely started to change. And one thing about the FBI and one thing about the government back then, and I still believe it's the rule now, where Edgar Hoover came up with something basically saying that we must stop the rise of a messiah Black person that can electrify and unify the people. So anybody that had a movement, anybody that was charismatic, anybody that could speak up against the power structure and, again, had a plan and action and ready, they were considered a threat, because now you no longer want you and your peoples to be oppressed. And that was a problem for the United States government. So anybody that had that, they had to get rid of them. We've seen that with Dr. Martin Luther King, with El Hajj Malik Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X, H. Rap Brown. All these great leaders, revolutionary leaders, were just taken out at some point. If it wasn't by assassination, it was by false imprisonment. And there were people in even the NAACP. They were against Dr. King at that time. Now it's looked at as, he's the man, he was great, and they celebrate him just like the government. I think it's a smack in the face. It's mockery for you to assassinate this man and then say, well, we want to give him a holiday to acknowledge how much he tried to bring the country together. He definitely deserves a holiday. He deserves a whole year probably. But to have someone who's, responsible for that, it's like, I find it mind boggling, but, another thing that I want to talk about is, and this might be off the topic a little bit, some people may agree to disagree, but I think for Black people, we look at all these different from a religion aspect, right? We look at all these different people in the Bible or in the Quran or whatever you believe, whether if it's you're Christian, Islam, Catholic, Judaism. There are beliefs that Black people believe in certain people, where these people lived thousands of years ago, and the life that these people had lived is what made them special and made them the chosen one, the anointed one, right? And we base our whole foundation is set around these biblical religious figures that we may or may not even know actually even existed, right? But here we have a leader like Dr. Martin Luther King, who put his life on the line, just like these other religious people, prophets, anointed ones. He knew he was going to die. Dr. King knew he was going to die, just like these other religious prophets, right? He was coming back for his people. He wanted to save his people. Dr. King got betrayed by his own people. But yet, we don't really hold Dr. King in the same regard, or Malcolm X. We don't hold these great Black men that we are again. I wasn't alive when they were assassinated, but my mother was alive. My father was alive. My grandparents were. They actually could see them. Like, it's not like someone is telling them a story from something to thousands of years, and you just gotta believe it. You just gotta have faith to believe. Nah, they actually seen Dr. King. So my thing is, I feel we should hold these people in the same high regards. Dr. King, Malcolm X, all these great revolutionaries that came and tried to save their people and put their life on the line, knowing that they was going to die just to get us out of oppression. They all knew they were going to die. But that was the price that they wanted to pay, that they knew they had to pay to try to free African people. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. And again, agree to disagree. Now they're an ancestor, right? Dr. King's an ancestor now. And what I feel, since he's passed, there hasn't been another activist to that level, to that magnitude, that was able to pick up from where he left off at and to carry the torch fully. Dr. King was assassinated in 1968. There really hasn't been someone after that to just pick up the torch and say, all right, come on. So we have to now connect with the ancestor, because he's now an ancestor, and try to find out where can we pick up from that, and how, and those different things. Again, y'all can agree to disagree. It is your right. But I just feel that Dr. King should be revered, and way more than what he is now. And stop letting these schools teach our kids that Dr. King just only wanted integration and that's all he was about and everybody loved him, and because that's not the reality. We got to teach our kids the true history and what's really going on. So thank you guys for watching. It's just different with Ty. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. All right. So until the next time, peace and love.